And I ain't hit no drop in a minute. No, I'm about my business.
Rappers Guide Podcast, episode 49. This is your host, Diggy
Bailz Pagliacci.
And today we wanted to talk about building a solid team around you, knowing who you have around you, and how that can affect your career. Z put up a tweet, right?
Yeah, Z definitely put up a tweet. It was basically stating, I might have just said it like that, but it was basically saying a lot of time these labels don't want to meet with certain artists, not because they don't believe in the artist or don't enjoy what the artist is doing, more so because they don't like the manager or the type of business dealings the manager's inside of or other people that's within their team. So it's like when we always try to advocate for you guys to remember to make sure that the people that you're trying to put in positions, they are actually effective in that position, because it could cost you that deal. It could cost you getting to that door. It could cost you a lot of opportunities just because you don't have the right team around you.
Now, I do think that there is an argument to be made that if a label is not trying to fuck with you because of the people you have around you, maybe that's not the right label for you.
Also true.
You know, if you feel in your heart that the people you have around you are solid individuals and you feel like they're doing good business and a label doesn't want them around, sometimes it could be because the label doesn't want you to be in the know of things. They might think that they won't be able to get their shit off if you have solid business around you who's going to deter you from going toward that deal. So that's another way to look at it.
That makes sense too.
You know what I'm saying? But there also is the case where you have a bunch of fucking idiots around you and the label's like, I don't want him. If I get him, I don't want the rest of them. And I know that they're a package deal, so fuck that.
Yep.
So I think that you have to be weary about the people that you bring into your business circle. This is the thing, bro. You could always have friends around you. Like, you don't need to make them part of your business. And I think that gets misconstrued often. I think people pretend like, yo, he's my boy. I need to make him either my manager or my assistant or this and that. If you just wanted to have your homie at the studio with you, that's perfectly fine. You could just be friends.
And I think it just comes with the whole rap image and the rap allure of, yo, once I make it, I got to take everybody and put them on. But I think a lot of times, well, I actually don't know, but for me, it's like when you try to put somebody on, when I think about putting somebody on, I'm thinking as if I'm going to put them in a position where they could work within a company somewhere, more so than working for me, like me making a connection with, certain individuals and certain people. I'm able to put my people in certain places as well, where it doesn't really have to technically do anything with me or my music. That's how I kind of look at it, because I'm not looking at going on tour, having like 20, 30 people with me, paying for everybody. Like, listen, that's just not how it's going to work for me in my mind. It just doesn't make any sense.
I would love to ask someone that you made your manager, like, what was your passion growing up? Like, what did you want to be yourself, right? Like, if they're like, oh, I wanted to be a manager, then it's fine, right?
Yeah.
But it's like,
do that.
Did you only pick this career choice because your friend is talented? Or was there actually a real want for you to be a manager your entire life? Because who the fuck, like, very few people grow up going, I want to manage artists when I get older. I feel that way, but I have not talked to many people who felt that way. A lot of people start off as artists themselves, and then they're like, I'm not making it with this. Let me try this
play
part.
The back scene.
Like, I would ask the person who you're about to make your manager, what did you want to be your whole life? Because you're putting them into a career. Like, it's not like you're putting them into like a position that's just like, they're just assisting with stuff. Like, you're putting them into a whole career. Like, to be a manager, that's a everyday fucking 24/7 deal.
And I just got to think of it like this, like when it comes to like having a manager, whether it be your friend, and then having to go to like one of these meetings somewhere, and then, they basically try to get you isolated by yourself and just like pull you to the side, like, listen, like we agree with everything you're doing and we want to like really work with you, but like, yeah, your manager, like, I'm not entirely sure where you found him at or where he's from, but yeah, we can't. You're gonna have to find some new management. It doesn't have to be through us. You're just gonna find somebody else to represent you, because you're not going to go far. And I remember when Black Odyssey was on the show, he was basically talking about that, like how he had the wrong management and it was just basically like it was hard for him to do certain things. And once you get out that position, how it could blossom you to do better things.
I would ask yourself this. Like, there's this scenario that goes around online every once in a while. It's like, would you let your best friend chill in a room alone with your girl? Right? Like, that's a scenario that happens, right? Do you trust your best friend to sit through a meeting with a label executive? Do you actually trust your best friend to do that? Some of you will be like, yes, definitely. Some of you will have to think about that shit for a second.
I ain't got to think about that now.
I don't know that I trust my friends. I love my friends. I don't know that I trust them to do business dealings for me with a label executive.
Especially in the music realm. Nah, definitely not.
And that's what I'm saying. Just because you made it as a musician doesn't make them automatically equipped for that. And there's nothing wrong with them not being equipped for that. Again, that's probably not their passion for the most part, but they need to find a role. If they're a creative, maybe they could be your videographer or director. But like, to find the role of like, I'm going to manage your entire career. Now I'm responsible for booking you shows. I'm responsible for merchandising and all these different functions of your business.
Mm-hmm.
Who gave them the credentials to be capable of that? Do they have a business degree? What exactly gave them the credentials to be put in that position? Or is it just you going out on a limb and making a mistake because they're not qualified for that? And again, you might love your friends, but now they're responsible for your entire business. And that's where it becomes a little shaky and a little scary. Just because you love them doesn't mean that they would function properly when they're now in charge of your entire business.
And that's what I always say. Like, sometimes it's really hard to really get into a business with friends or to have them do any of your business dealings, especially like in a career like this one where it's already kind of predatory and so easy to be taken advantage of. And somebody who's not knowledgeable of what goes on inside this industry and just sees it as, this is an opportunity for us to get our foot in the door. You might just get your foot in the door and just maybe stuck there that entire time where you're not fully able to walk through that door at all.
Your friend might sign a deal that seems lucrative, but is holding you down for the rest of however long.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, because again, he might not be qualified to be having those conversations.
And even deeper than that, any like these management people or, people that reach out to you that's trying to be part of your team through the internet, you got to be wary of those too, because once again, it's so easy to glamorize a lot of stuff and, take some pictures with some celebrities and just pictures of you on like these certain hot spots where it's like, oh crap, he must be connected. This person may know this person. When I was younger, I got tricked by that so many times when I seen people taking pictures with certain other artists, like, oh yeah, I got to work with this guy. And I realized, this person's the same person as me. They just happen to bump into this person in
New York City.
Story? Yeah, hit me one because I probably have a few too.
All right, cool. When I was 18, I met my soon-to-be manager, right? My soon-to-be manager had all these stories about how he knew this person and knew that person and knew that person. And he had pictures to back it up.
Mm-hmm.
It was him with Tyga and him with this person, him with that person, all these like artists that were popping at the time. I later found out, after I already signed, that his dad owns a limousine company. And all the pictures that he had were because his pops was driving these people around. He owned like a professional limousine company. So he had all these pictures with celebrities, but he wasn't friendly with any of them. It was just that his dad drove them around, and I guess he would sit front seat and ask for pictures. Now, you can't believe what you see on the internet all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because someone, it's the same thing as, I hope you guys know, all the artists that pose in front of the Rock Nation sign and all these labels, Def Jam sign. Bro, these are business buildings that you could walk into.
There's a lobby for a reason.
You could post a whole caption about how you just had a meeting and shit. There's no verification or there's no actual proof that you had that meeting, but people will run with that picture and believe it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe in some cases people are having these meetings, but the numbers don't back it up. You know what I mean? There's so many different things that you could look at and you go, that's weird. He only has 500 followers. How the fuck is he meeting with Rock Nation? And chances are he probably didn't.
And then after that meeting, what was said and what happened?
Right.
After that meeting, like what was like what happened from there?
Yeah,
Like,
but
oh,
if
I
you're
can't talk about it. You know, I got signed this deal. I got to stay under the hush hush. Like, okay.
yeah, but if you're willing to go out on a limb and make up a whole story about how you had a meeting with Rock Nation, I'm guaranteeing that you also made up a whole backstory.
Oh yeah, we're artists. We can
You
make
know
shit
what I'm
up.
saying? Like people definitely make up backstories and say, like, yeah, I've seen that so many times where people pose in front of the label sign, and
Yeah,
it's
me
like
too.
the numbers just don't add up.
But
You know?
once again, like when you're younger or you just have the mindset like, oh shit, people are doing more than me. Or like, oh shit, what the fuck? How they get a meeting over there? And then you start realizing when you look behind the smoke and mirrors, like, oh shit. Once again, it's just a lobby that you probably just walked into, or you knew somebody that was going there, or you had somebody that worked inside the building. It could be so many numerous things, and you can't really take a lot of things for face value and just like hire people just because of it.
And here's the thing too, like, you know, with those lobbies, because people might think, well, you can't just walk in there. You know how many artists probably just walk in there?
A lot.
They're probably used to people just walking in there just to take a picture. In their eyes, it's marketing. If we allow people to walk into our lobby and just snap a picture in front of the sign, they're going to go post that on their Instagram. It
It builds a brand.
literally markets our business. Why would we not want people posting all the shit? Why would we not want people wearing Rock Nation paper plane hats? Why would we not want our business being marketed for free? You feel me?
No, I definitely understand.
And
It
so,
makes sense.
and so, if you're confused as to how these people are getting access to the lobby of a Rock Nation building, first off, it's probably right as soon as you walk in.
I mean, that's what most companies are anyway. Like, as
I
soon as you
wouldn't
walk
know
in-
because I would never go there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I've had no business dealings. There.
Right,
I didn't get
unless-
invited to the brunch or anything yet.
Exactly. Unless there were business dealings to be had, I'm not just going to go to the Rock Nation building, but I would be willing to guarantee that you can just walk in. So it's not that difficult. And that's why you can't believe these pictures online. In fact, I wouldn't believe anything that you see online.
I don't believe shit online. I be wondering if I'm real sometimes when I look at myself online. Like, what the fuck is going on? He's like, you can't really trust anything.
Bro, like a lot of the stories that you hear, like you have to understand, as artists, we're trying to find a way. You know what I mean? Like we're trying to find a way in, and sometimes we fall into the whole fake it till you make it. And the problem with fake it till you make it is that like you sometimes start believing your bullshit. You know, there are people that wholeheartedly believe what they're saying. And, you know, at one point I was having all the online discussions with these different label executives that would fucking message you on Twitter.
Mhm.
This is early on. But yo, some of these messages I believed for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I was a fucking desperate artist that was young and I knew no better. And there are artists just like I was out there. And that's why we do this show, for the artists that are desperate and know no better.
trying to find their way.
I'll be honest with a lot of people. It's very rare that a label executive is going to reach out to you on Twitter for no apparent reason and just start fucking telling you what to do.
No,
Because a lot of the time they'll be like, oh, you need to go get your stuff marketed through this person and that person. And that's when you know it's a scam.
Shit, that's even going deeper where somebody randomly hit me up on Instagram and they was like, yo, I love your music. I feel what you're doing. I'm going to give you this book for free. It has like a bunch of names of all these people that you can contact and get on playlists and like
that's a big
managers and all this shit. And he gave it to me for free though. So I definitely downloaded it. I looked at it. But then I looked at it and it's like fucking endless pages of information. I'm like, yo, I'm not about to go through all this. What kind of, what time do you think I have, number one? And number two, this shit seems outdated as a motherfucker. And then after that, he just disappeared. So I still don't even understand what the hell the purpose of that was.
Because he probably had a play if you were like, yo, what else do you have?
And
I
I was
for $5,000, I could give you
and I
access
was
to every
definitely not
number.
going down that road.
Yeah. There was probably a play. But for the most part, what I would say about like believing the online fuckery is just don't trust anything. I wouldn't trust any messages from an artist. Unless it's not even. I wouldn't trust any. I wouldn't trust any DM from a fucking big name artist. I wouldn't trust any DM from a big name manager or like a playlister. All this shit, bro.
I gotta verify everything before I believe it, and I fucking ask questions top to bottom. And as soon as I get that one suspicion, like, nah, this shit don't seem right, I'll either hit you like, yo, look at this shit, like, what the fuck you think it is, or I just flat out like, nah, hell no, this don't make no sense.
For the most part, it's just not how the business works. A lot of the time, and I know that this seems strange in 2022, but a lot of the time the connections made in the music industry are through face to face.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
People
Like,
actually go have lunch and have business meetings, like literally have business meetings.
and like even meeting different people within the industry, like you might know this person who introduces you to this person, and then you get contact with this person. You know, so it's like a lot of because even what Sue was saying on our episode, shout out Sue, we were talking about how the industry is very small and everyone kind of knows each other, right? Once you're at a certain point, everyone kind of has each other's contact information and can talk to each other. So it's like there aren't so many random messages and all this stuff. I know it does happen. It's not impossible for someone to message you and it to be sincere.
Highly unlikely.
You know, it's just unlikely, especially if you think about how many artists there are. You know, and if you're an artist who doesn't have the following, doesn't have the numbers, doesn't have anything to kind of back your music, because that's what this game is. Like, let's be clear that you need to have numbers that back you. If you don't have those numbers and someone is reaching out to you, you might feel like it's because you're the most talented person in the world. But like even the most talented artist, if you walked into a label with them and their numbers were not there, the label's doing nothing with them. So like talent, we could just this is a good episode to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Talent does not mean shit anymore.
It don't. And it really ties in deeper when you think about it, that it has to do with the numbers, right? So like there could be a very talented artist, fire as a motherfucker, but that artist doesn't know how to build a team and that artist doesn't know how to market themselves. Nobody gives a fuck about that fire ass artist. Now, if you have a mid-level or like I don't want to say mediocre, but a basic artist, it could be mediocre too, but I'm gonna just say a basic artist that just has the image, they can market themselves and they started building an effective team around them, they're gonna do way better than the person who actually could really make music. But at the same time, you'll hear people say, oh, well, I know this artist is better than this person, and that person. It's like, yo, that's not how it works anymore. It's literally about everything else that you're building around. Because even when it comes to getting paid for music, it's not just about the music. It's about everything else that you could build around it. We're not talking about being an artist anymore. Like, this is really being an entrepreneur. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. And he's like, nah, I hate that music has come to have to be this way. But it's like, if you didn't want it to be this way, people were complaining more. So when people sounded badass deals, this is what you got. This is what you get.
Bro, I wanna speak on that whole. I hate that music has become a business and you have to. It's always been a fucking business. Like, yo, that whole idea that like music has become a business and now you have to market yourself. It's always been like that, bro. Like, what do you think fucking handing CDs out in a parking lot is? You think that that's not running your own business?
Air quotations, hustling.
Like, I don't understand that whole concept of like, I hate that this has become. Nah, bro, it's always been a business.
The game
like,
just changing.
It's just online now. You don't have to go to a mall anymore with fucking your trunk full of CDs and dish them out or try to get $5 from someone for one.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's always been a business. You're always hustling and it's always been you as a small business, man. And hopefully you build enough street credibility or like street following to warrant you getting a deal. That's how it was back in the day.
Yep.
Now it's all online because what do labels want to see? They want to see numbers.
Yep.
It's way easier to know if an artist has a buzz if they have a bunch of numbers surrounding them, right?
Numbers don't lie, bro.
And well, nowadays they might, but
we know how to look through that shit,
right?
Smoke and mirrors,
and labels know how to look through it too.
Smoke and mirrors,
labels know how to see if someone's number is actually real.
And shit, they be doing smoke and mirrors sometimes too. They be throwing fake numbers around all the time as a motherfucker, just like everybody else.
But the idea that like music has become this thing where the artist is a business and it never was that before, that's not true. So like that whole argument, it makes no sense to me when people say it. Like, yo, the only thing you could say is that marketing is more available for us, so we don't have to go out and hire a PR firm.
Mm-hmm.
That's where music has changed, and it's changed for the benefit of artists.
I think the artists just don't want to take responsibility.
Of course they don't, and that's where that whole "I hate that you have to do this." You hate that you have to do work. That's what you actually hate. You hate that there's no one doing the work for you. And we've talked about that in the past, so I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But like, that's the part that they actually don't like. They don't like that it's not as easy as I just work on music and then the world hears it. It's just never been like that. You know what I mean? Like there was always someone doing the work.
And I think that ties in with people just making bad business decisions and hiring the wrong people around them. Because it's just like, I'm so quick to not want to do all this other shit that I feel like is so unnecessary. And we talked about this so many times. a lot of things that you can do on your own before you need a manager or anything of that nature. They should, at that point, people should become looking for you as more so than you're looking for them. And a lot of those things you could be able to do, but it's like, if I can just dish this off to somebody else, it makes me number one, in a sense, fuel my ego. I feel a little more important. I have a team, talk to my manager, talk to this person. But at the same time, that could be what also hinders you, because it's like, okay, go talk to my manager, talk to this person. They get in that room and they're just like, okay, what are we talking about? I don't know. We trying to go on a world tour. Well, what numbers? What are we talking about? Oh, listen, we did a few shows locally around. Okay, what are your Spotify numbers? What are your YouTube numbers?
What's your draw? How many people do you bring to a show? If I put you on a stage in Idaho, are you pulling people out? Like, for a lot of people, it's no. And if it's no, then you need to get your numbers up. Plain and simple. Like, you shouldn't even be comfortable with the fact that you can go to that. And Idaho's a weird example because who the fuck's in Idaho, right?
Potatoes.
But like, yo, if you're an artist who has a growing following, right? And you focused on building an audience in the big cities. When you go to the big cities, like if you go to LA and you perform, and say you do even a small venue, like 100 capacity, you should be able to get people there.
Oh, definitely.
If you've marketed yourself properly and you actually built an honest following.
Because people do it.
But if you're going to LA to perform and there's not a single actual human that will come to your show, then you didn't do the work that you were supposed to be doing. I'm not saying it's easy work by any stretch of the imagination.
Definitely easy, but you ain't lying.
But nothing is easy. Like this whole shit is not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, then everyone would fucking blow up.
A lot of people don't want to either have that competition or like they want to compete at all.
It's not.
Like
it's not even competition, bro. Like if your whole fucking plan was to open a pizzeria, like you're gonna have competition in that, but like you don't focus on other pizzerias.
I think it's a little bit different in music, though.
It's not. A small business is a small business, bro. You're not like if you make a streetwear brand and you open up a store, you can't be focusing on what the streetwear brand down the street does. You have to focus on what makes your shit good.
Excuse me, but that's what I'm kind of saying. Artists will more focus on what other people are doing and trying to either copy or whatever the case may be, and that's where they fall down that and
that's why I'm saying you shouldn't.
Okay.
I'm saying with any business, you don't focus on, like, you could look at the other competition as like a means of reference, like, well, why are people going to them? And you could take little things from each and every company and make it yours, but you don't, that can't be the driving force of your business.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you open a pizzeria, your driving force has to be, we make the best fucking pizza. If I taste your pizza and the shit tastes like ass, then like your focus is off. Like you're probably just trying to make you're just trying to make money, but like, yo, the one thing that you need to be good at, you're not good at.
Ain't nothing worse than trash pizza.
I don't even know how it exists. I don't.
Oh, I do, the 99-cent slices.
You know what I'm saying? But like I don't know how that shit exists, because it's like, if you're calling yourself a pizzeria and the one thing that you guys are supposed to be good at, you're not good at, what's the point?
Exactly. That makes sense.
You feel me? And like with music, it's the same concept. It's like, yo, instead of focusing on the numbers and shit, right? Which everyone's doing, yo, how can I get the most plays on my song? Blah, blah, blah. Maybe make the best song. Like
and the numbers just come.
And kinda marketing too, right? Like we've had that example where it's like you have a fucking sandwich shop in your backyard and the fence is up. Like you still have to get yourself in front of people. But like your primary focus as an artist should be make the best song. It shouldn't be how are they getting all the followers?
How they got that manager, how they got that PR team, how they got this, how they got that.
You're creating a product. You're creating a product. And if you don't feel like your product is as good as it can be, then your primary focus should be, how do I make my product the best? I feel like people too often record their first song and drop it. And they're like, okay, how do I build the following? Well, slow down, man. Like you just made your first song ever.
Just get started on the second one.
How do you make your best song? Like that's not it. You know what I mean? Like your first song can't be your best song. I want to hear how you make your best song. What are you in this for?
And I love that fucking chase. Because every fucking song you make, it always just feels like, yo, this is it. But then you go to another song, you're like, oh, wait, nah, this is it. And then you just continuously go more and more and more. And it's just like, yo, that's the beautiful feeling.
Bro,
about
every
this
time I
whole
work
shit.
on a project, I'm literally like, okay, this is going to be the best song on the project. And then I make the next song and I'm like, this shit's better than the last one.
Yep.
And then you build off that. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that as an artist, you should focus on making the best product. I don't think that your focus should be on anything but making the best product. All that other shit comes. And honestly, it's fucking easy. Market your music. It takes money, but it's not difficult.
No.
Like, if we're talking about just straight marketing, like, yo, there used to be this up in the air, who the fuck knows how to blow up, right? And I don't feel like that exists anymore.
No,
we
you
know
know
what
exactly
it
what
is,
the
bro.
fuck to do.
It's just marketing. I remember vividly when Mark Barino hit me up and said, yo, I got the answers. And that was years ago, you know, and I remember hearing him out and him saying, yo, it's all about Instagram ads, Facebook ads, all these different advertisements. And that's the same shit I relayed to you. That's the same shit I relayed to everyone.
And that shit definitely was the saving grace of
And
everything.
yo, the worst part is, bro, like having those discussions with every artist who comes through the studio and then still seeing them do the dumb shit that like goes completely against what actually works, you know? And that's the frustrating part is like, they already have the information. I'd be less bothered if a new artist came and they were doing all these dumb ways to promote their shit.
And they didn't know.
You know what I mean? Like that's fine. Like everyone could learn something, but like
once you learn and you see that
the information, you're still doing the dumb shit. It's like, bro, how many times does someone have to tell you something? And like you're rejecting the only thing that works and then wondering every day, why is it not working? Why is what I'm doing not working? And what works, I'm not even testing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, yo, marketing is the fucking answer. You want fans, you want to build a following, market your music. You want to stay stagnant and keep on working on how do I make a hit record that catches them? Then, you know,
stay lost in the sauce.
Yeah, like that it is what it is, bro. Like if you want to blow up in today's music, you have to know how to market your music. And it's just the answer. It's just the answer. There's no question mark behind it.
And that just ties in once again. You don't have to be searching for people to be part of your team. Those people will come, and you're gonna have to go through some vetting processes where you're trying to figure out who will be best for you. And that's when you're in your best position, when you got options, when people are coming to you, giving you these offers or saying, hey, look, this is what I could do for you, or I could try to do for you. And like, are you willing to work? And the most thing that we have at this time as independent artists is having the power in our hands to choose everything that's happening around us. So when it comes to something where like Z's tweeting where like labels don't want to have a meeting because just somebody's management or because of the people that the artist is around, remember, you're in control of that. It doesn't have to be that way.
Let's finish this episode off with this. Who should you have on your team? Say you're building a team.
I want a manager.
Why?
For me personally?
Why?
For me personally?
Yeah.
I would just want a manager to, once again, I don't need a manager to do so.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about right now.
Oh, right now?
Right now.
I will, for like right now, I just want to have another marketer like me.
Okay.
Literally just literally a marketer.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, literally I just want to have a marketer.
I would hire a social media marketer.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I would do.
That's where I would stop at.
Like I would hire a social media marketer. I might hire a lawyer so I could have all my business in check and get everything proper. Like a CPA will get you an LLC. And like, I'm not saying you need a CPA to do that. You can go through LegalZoom and everything. Yeah. But if you're a young kid and you're trying to build up this like music career and you want to know what you should do, maybe talking to a CPA is the move.
Yeah, I think I probably would just stop there. Getting a fucking accountant, a lawyer, vice versa.
You know, entertainment lawyer will have connections to other people in the industry. You could ask the entertainment lawyer. Most of these people have probably a free consultation.
Yep.
You could literally be like, what exactly do I need to do within that hour of free consultation? You feel me? Like these people have dealt with all the artists who are on their way up. They see what you need, right? But like a manager is not the first thing you need.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not.
I don't think a manager is necessary until you have a hefty workload. And most of you guys don't have a hefty workload. Like I know people who have a manager and you're like, bro, I've never seen your manager do anything.
And that's what my mindset is. I'm thinking of like more so when I get that real traction.
But fuck that. I'm talking to the kids watching it right now.
Music marketer.
Who want to know exactly what their team should be. And I think that it stops at social media marketer.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
That's how you build. Like if
and even then, you can kind of do that yourself in a sense, but then you can have somebody additional to help you along with that. That'll put your shit out there. Really,
but here's the thing, bro. Sometimes and yo, you could have a graphic designer, you could have a videographer. Like these are different things that you can add to your team to make it an effective team. But what I'm saying is, bro, like there are people that you need in place. Like a graphic designer is a great one because you're gonna need graphics for your ads.
Everything. Mm-hmm.
You're gonna need videos for your ads. So
Photographers, videographer, whatever it's called, I forgot.
Videographer. What were you calling it? A
videographer.
But yeah, bro, like building a solid team. So all right, cool. We have your social media marketer. We have your videographer. We have your graphic designer, engineer.
Very important.
You know what I'm saying? Like there are actual people that you should have on your team, and your engineer might mix everyone's music, so it might not necessarily be just solely your engineer and they're just on your team, but that would be nice to have. If you're a rapper, finding a producer that could be a part of your team that strictly makes your beats, like that would be hard. Maybe convince one of your friends who's kind of musically inclined to actually take that up and be the producer. There are so many things that you can add to your